What's up guys, I'm Captain Johnny Steadham, one of the owners of Johnny Jigs Tackle Company. I want to show you guys how to do a single assist hook today. So there's quite a few ways to rig a jig, and as you can see, this one here has two hooks on it, so you do use the single assist hooks at times, and at times you use double assist hooks. But you could play around with the lengths of the hooks, you can play around with the size of the hooks, solid rings that are attached to the hooks. For me personally, these are our pro jigger hooks that are already pre-tied in the single. This one goes about, I would say, a third of the way down, and this one goes about a third of the way down. So even though these are pretty good and will work very well, I might want these just a little bit longer. So tying your own assist hooks gives you that option. First thing you're going to need is a hollow core assist cord. It's got an inner core that can be pulled out of it. This one here is the Van Fook jigging assist line. The next thing you're going to need is some solid rings. These are the Johnny Jigs solid rings. We only sell one size on the Johnny Jigs. This one's perfect. It's gonna work well for you. And then hooks. So there's a couple options with hooks. The first one that I have here is the Van Fook, and that's a spade in. So there's no eye on the end of this hook, and you're gonna need to essentially make sure that you cinch it down real tight. So today we're gonna tie with the spade in. But the other option is when you actually have an eye on the hook. So this one here is the Gamakatsu 510, and you got to do a couple things with this hook before you actually can tie the assist hook, and I'm going to show that to you as well. But then I'm going to switch over to the spade in. I'm going to show you guys how to tie and splice a single assist hook. So this is the Gamakatsu 510. The first thing you'll notice is that the eye is open on this hook. So you're going to want to take a pair of pliers and pinch that eye closed. This metal is pliable, it's bendable, so I'm just pinching that closed. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend it back just a little bit, and now you're ready to actually tie the assist hook. So the cool thing about this 510 from Gamakatsu is that the barb is on the outside of the hook. Why is the barb on the outside of the hook? When you're jigging, at times, if your line crosses another angler's line who's fishing with you, you could actually pull your jig across their line, and then the assist hook will actually hook onto their line. So instead of that barb actually catching their line, the likelihood of you coming unhooked is a lot better due to the fact that the barb is on the outside. And that's just one of, I think, a few benefits that are from the barb. But once you penetrate into a fish's mouth, that barb catches and this hook works just fine. A couple last things that you're gonna need is a splicing tool, which you can find on johnnyjigs.com. It's not completely necessary, but it's nice to have some glue, which you cannot find on johnnyjigs.com, as well as these electric lighters. And you can't find this on johnnyjigs.com either. However, they're super cheap on Amazon. You can mess around with the lengths on this. I'm gonna tie this guy, I'm gonna go 7 inches or about 18 centimeters. So we'll give that a cut. And then inside of this is going to be a core that needs to be removed. So you can kind of just spread the end out until you find that core that needs to come out. So you'll see that I'm actually pulling the core out of the inside of this line, and that's to make room for my splicing tool, which is going to go inside. You'll notice that there is a little arm on it for catching right there. You want to make sure that that arm is pushed down before you insert it into the assist cord. So the arm is down, and now I'm going to thread this guy right on to my splicing tool, and I'm going to try and get it about halfway down, and if I can get it to measure just right, I want to be pretty much right at the center of this 6.5 inches. That looks about halfway through, and now I'm going to pop out the edge of the cord just like so, and I'm just going to pop right out the other side of this. This is where the solid ring comes in. So I'm going to stick the solid ring right over top of the line, and then I'm going to try and wedge just the tip of my assist cord into the little hook, and then I'm going to close the little arm right onto it so it stays in there. And it's a little tricky, but I want you guys to just kind of get a nice close look at what's going on here. So now I've pinched with the little arm that's on the tool right into the end, and now I'm gonna pull it back through the other way. And it's just real gently because you don't want to lose your end. You want to make sure you pull that end out the other side, and you'll see it appear here pretty soon. So you can see I've actually threaded this line through itself, and now I can cinch the solid ring right down, and now you have officially spliced a solid ring right onto the cord. Pretty neat, right? Whenever I fold it, you can see there's a little excess hanging out the end there. I'm just gonna cut that off. And now, tying to the assist hook. Don't pinch yourself up. You could put the solid ring right at the end of the hook there, so you've got plenty of space to tie, because there's room for adjustment later, and I'll show you what I mean. So if you look, the point of the hook is facing that way, my assist cord is facing that way, and I'm just gonna make one loop, right? Just a loop, simple loop. And then I'm gonna wrap it around 2 times. 1, 2, and now here's where you can make minor adjustments and mess with the lengths of this. However, I feel pretty good about my length right there. So before I actually slide it down to the end of the hook, I'm gonna tighten this guy down. So I'm gonna grab my tag in with this set of pliers here, and then I'm gonna grab the solid ring with another pair of pliers, and I'm going to cinch this down as hard as I possibly can, right? You can see I slipped on one of my things there, but that baby is tight. So now, essentially, you could leave it just like this. However, I like to add a few extra steps. So you want to make sure that your cord is laying over top of the inside of the assist hook, just like so. And then we're gonna slide it forward right there, just like so. And now you could take your electric lighter, and I'm gonna give you guys a little nugget here. If you're using an electric lighter like me, don't hold the hook because it's gonna shock you. You want me to do it? I'm gonna do it just so you guys can see this. No, I'm just kidding, I'm scared. So here we go. Cinch that a little bit. And that way that doesn't pull through. I'm gonna give this one more tug on both ends just to ensure that it is secured and that it's not going anywhere. That's a ton of pressure. That's a lot more pressure than fish are gonna put on it, considering what your drag is set at. So that's not going anywhere. And then the last thing that you can do, and you really don't need a lot of this glue, but you could just take one little dab of glue and drop it right onto the knot, and then boom, this is going to be a perfect assist hook for you single jigging. So what are the benefits of single assist hooks? This is going to make your jig more streamlined. It's going to help it get down faster. It could potentially change the action of the jig from having double assist hooks going to single assist hooks. And then the other thing is, if you are going for IGFA world records, you're only allowed to have 2 assist hooks on the jig. So by using just one on the top and one on the bottom, if you catch that fish of a lifetime, you might go down in history. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you really like this video, definitely give me a comment below if you'd like to see any other type of assist hook tines. There is the double assist hook and a few other ways of tying these assist hooks. So anything you guys would like to see, let me know. I'd be happy to do it for you here on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to go check out some of these products at johnnyjigs.com. You can follow us on Instagram as well as Facebook. And once again, guys, thanks for watching, and jig on.